Hey y'all, this is Quigsworth, and this is my main build. This is what I've basically been vaping on 90% of the time. This is an era. Don't know whether it's a V1, V1.5, V2. You know what? Honestly, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me. I switch my caps around too. So this is a one-hole cap. Some of them have 2 holes. Regardless, this medium that I'm using is this is number 10 Aunt Lydia's viscose bamboo crochet thread. You can get it from Michael's Crafts. Just get the natural. It's on the shelf. It's $3 for lots. The coil is it's number 28, and I do what's known as or what a guy on ECF by the handle of BJ43 has called his oval coil. He sort of described it way back when, and I kind of like, wow, that sounds like a good idea. So I tried it, and I haven't looked back. The reason why I use this oval coil, or what I think this oval coil came to be, was because of the fact that it's not circular like around silica or whatever. It's an oval shape, and what it is it creates a nice big large face of coil and wick material that goes up against the air hole of the Era, and it works spectacular. And the reason why I use 28 is, well, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to take this thing apart. This is how I take them apart, and how I basically re-wick on an existing 28 coil. And you use 28 because it's pretty tough, and you can wick it again and again and again. As long as you take it apart kind of gingerly, slide your little threads out. You just got to get a couple started, and once you do, it's enough to basically just yank the whole thing out. You're left with this coil. You then just cook it up nice and red hot, and you're back to a clean coil. It's just that simple. But that's not showing you guys how I did it, so I'm going to take it apart. Oops, don't want to put that there. It's probably pretty still hot. Alright, 28 Canthal. 2 wooden round toothpicks. It's important that you use the round ones, but to be perfectly honest with you, I stopped using the round ones. Or I stopped using toothpicks altogether. I went and found a couple of cheap drill bits that are the exact same diameter as Q-tips, and I just taped them together. And the reason why I use drill bits, especially just the shanks of the drill bits, is because they're nice and smooth and metallic, and when you wrap your coil around here, it just slides off, not a problem. So without further ado, yeah. I kind of look at the holes in the Era, and I kind of like figure whether I'm going to start with it up or start with the tail down. If you rebuilt RBAs before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In this particular case, by the way, this unit is just a straight bat voltage mechanical mod. It's not VV. For my personal tastes, I go 5 times around with 28 on this. You know, wrap your coil to taste or to suit. You could go to 4. It's That's like a 1 ohm coil. It's a serious battery load, but that's entirely up to you. You could go to 6, which would probably bring you up to about 2 ohms. It's a little cool for my taste, but it might work for 2 ohm kind of people. You know what? You got to go with what you like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? I don't know, whatever it is, but that looks about right. Going with that. I always screw up that whole 3, 4, 4, 5, whatever thing. And then do this little thing so that my leads are coming out kind of central of the back of the coil. And then slide it through your little arrow holes. Maybe I'll just straighten that out a little bit. You just sort of stick it up there really nice and tight. Hopefully I'll stay in camera for you guys. It's a little hard to stay in camera and do this at the same time. And then slide that out. Done this enough times now I don't have to worry about it. I just cut the ends off. I know it's going to work. Make sure your coils aren't touching anything so you get a true resistance. You also want to make sure that they're away from the edge so that your outer isn't going to make contact and short it out. But for the most part, this is looking pretty good. Let's try it out. Alright, be like that. There we go. Nice and toasty red hot. Oh, it's dark. Why is that dark on the very end? Because it's touching the post. So again, you want to make sure that you do have... There we go. There we go. I'm not sure if you can see the glow on camera, but believe me, it's doing its thing. It's doing it really nice. You want to kind of cook your kanthal a little bit too, with just without doing any wick on it, because kanthal does come with machining oil on it, and just to lubricate it when they put it on rolls. And the smoke that's coming off of bare kanthal, you got to kind of wonder what that is. But sure. Anyways, that's that. Done. This is the part I wanted to really show you. This is the Aunt Lydia's number 10 bamboo crochet thread. This has been boiled for about 20 minutes. Nothing really dramatic. It does kind of fluff up a little bit. And you're saying, wow, that's really thin. And it is. This is an 18350 IMR battery that's long since dead, because that's what IMR batteries do. I found that this thickness of battery is perfect for my purposes. So what I basically do is I take one of the tail ends of the kanthal that I cut off with a little thing. I kind of cheated because they flung everywhere. What I basically do is I take it, I guess it's about 1.5 inches. I lay it on the edge of the battery. I take my Aunt Lydia's, kind of pinch it with my thumb, and I go, oops, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times around, because it's thin. and then cut it. And then take the ends of the canthal, and I basically make a little loop, and I do that to bind it. Yes, I know this is a weird method, but believe me, it works for me. And then slide it off the battery. So you've got this. A little bit of canthal with a little loop 10 times around the battery. Grab your mod, slide it through your oval coil that you made. You want to very gingerly pull it, thread it through like that. Get it about halfway, stop, grab your canthal, and stick it through the loops on the back side of the posts. You're going to make a dog's breakfast out of this the first 200 times you do it. You get better at it, believe me. And then I just basically just bend it back. I just do it all real loose. It doesn't really matter because it's all going to get covered up with a cap anyway. Just as long as it kind of quasi stays in place. Because you know what? As soon as you juice this thing for the first couple, first couple times, it's not going anywhere. And just cut it. And yes, I know, it looks like hell. Doesn't look very good at all, but trust me, this is gonna blow your mind. If you want, you can then kind of like do a pre-squonk and just make sure that you know your wick is gonna juice. Bamboo, this stuff absorbs so well. It really does. But you can just watch it and watch it soak up. Or if you want, you can take your cap. This works too. Kind of squish it all in there. Line up your air hole with the face of your oval coil. And what I do now is basically I squonk until juice is coming out the air hole of the era. We're not coming out, but it would help if I actually had juice in this mod. It's almost out. Yes, it is. There should be enough to get it going. As you can see, it's getting nicely saturated. And it just has to saturate once, and then it comes off, it goes on really, really easy. So I think we kind of got this going on. The Aunt Lydia's takes about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 vapes before it settles in. There's virtually no aftertaste to this stuff. Or aftertaste. There's no bamboo taste to it. 5-10 vapes, any kind of like new coil thing, gone. So let's see how it vapes. All right. Just so you guys know that there's no cutting or editing here. It's just amazing. It's just simply amazing. Anyways, shoddy cam work. That's the my bamboo BJ43 oval coil. on a straight battery mod. There it is. Anyways, bye.